Hey there, it's Jared Hamilton with the Hamilton Group at Cherry Creek Mortgage, and welcome to another edition of Java with Jared. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Weird week with everything that went out in Boston. That's why I've got my little Boston Bruin guy here, is just a show of support to all the people of Boston that have gone through just a real crazy, wacky week. It's 8:30 here on Friday morning, and stuff is going on right now in Boston, and I know you're like me, and all our thoughts and prayers go out to the people of Boston, all the law enforcement that have rallied, and we hope this comes to a quick end. We get this guy, and we can all move on with the rest of our lives. So, here's what happened with interest rates in the markets this week. It was a pretty tame week. There was no major movement in the mortgage-backed security market. Stocks took it on the chin a little bit. They had a kind of a rough week, but that's as expected, hitting all these all-time levels, even in the face of pretty weak economic data. Hope you guys got your taxes done and in on Monday, so now we can move on with the rest of our lives, not thinking about taxes. Here's what was released this week. Last week we saw the PPI come out, and that was pretty weak. It was a negative 0.6%. That's the PPI's Producer Price Index. It's a measure of wholesale inflation. We saw the Consumer Price Index this week come in, and that also did show some weakness. It was down 0.2%. The core rate was only up 0.1%. So that shows, again, that inflation is just not an issue. Inflation is interest rates' arch enemy. So if there's inflation, interest rates usually are forced to rise because the yield has to go up because the purchasing power of a dollar goes down. So with real weak inflation or really no inflation, that is a good thing for interest rates. We also saw housing starts. That showed a really huge increase, up 7% from the previous month to an annualized number of over 1 million. It's 1.036 million units per year. That was the largest increase since June of 2008, so that was pretty huge. And actually on a year-over-year basis, so this same time last year, it was up 47%. So again, we all know that the housing market has shown a lot of strength, and that has continued. Retail sales was pretty weak. That was down 0.4%. So the consumer's not out there spending except for buying houses. Generally speaking, fairly weak economic data other than the housing sector, and that caused interest rates just to, be stable. So I think that we will continue to see pretty low interest rates through the summer, as I said last week. Now, next week we're going to see GDP come out. We're also going to see existing home sales, so we'll have more housing data. Again, this week I forgot to mention we did see consumer price, in addition to consumer prices, we saw industrial production and capacity utilization. That came in as expected, pretty tepid numbers, so really nothing going on there. So that's what happened with interest rates this week. I'll let you know how the GDP comes out next week, and also existing home sales. If you guys have any questions, please give me a call. And again, let's hope that everything kind of gets settled here in Boston, and we'll be thinking about you. Have a great week, and thanks again for joining me with Java with Jared, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.